I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough Cause time. I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough Cause time. I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough Cause time. I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ladies' Night. Yes, I know y'all been used to getting Ladies and Gent Night, but tonight it is going to be Ladies' Night. It's going to be me and whoever decides to come up, but I did make it open panel, open mic. Okay, reason why I kind of left it open panel, open mic, because what I want to discuss is a few things that I run across that makes me want to have this conversation. Okay. All right. So this is what's been going on. Okay. All right. I know we keep Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Okay. I gotta reset up, y'all. Okay. All right. All right. So let me reset up. Sorry about that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So what I was about to do was my copyright. Okay. Okay. So the topic that um oh, what's going on? Oh, okay. I'm in the wrong section. Okay. So so what I want to talk about, okay, there's been talking about toxic moms and what they tell their sons and stuff like that. But I don't deal with that. So I'm coming at it from what I'm more familiar with. And they don't and the topic ain't even about toxic dads. It's about what fathers tell their daughter about a relationship and having a successful relationship. Okay, so before I get into that, I'm going to uh, cover my basis with Copyright Act. All right, here we go. This channel, oh yeah. This channel may contain content not authorized for use by its owner. However, according to Section 107 of the Copyright Act of the United States, the fair use of copyrighted work for purposes such as criticism, there's going to be some criticism, comments, there's definitely going to be some comments, news reporting, only for those who don't know, teaching, you're going to learn something new today, scholarship, or research is not an infringement of copyright. Okay, so now that I cover my bases with copyright. Okay, let me get some things in order. Yeah, so y'all gonna be hearing a little noise in the background as I get this back and I re-sign in the phones. Okay, all right, okay. Now, what made me start, because I have said years ago when I first came on YouTube, and they keep saying, you women are teaching these girls all this negative stuff about men. No. A lot of times it ain't coming from no mother telling her daughter negative things about men. I know from my own experience, my mom never said anything negative about my father. She didn't really say too much about my father. Nothing negative. You know, you can't say nothing good about somebody, say anything at all. Also, I think there's some emotional attachment. She still kind of love him. But this short that I'm about to play you had me thinking. And I've seen it over and over again to a degree. Okay, so here it is, and the title: What do fathers teach their toxic daughters? So, if there's a toxic woman, it's something she learned from her father. Oh, that reminds me. Let me see if I can enlarge the screen a little bit. Oh, no, we don't need that. Let's see. Ooh, maybe I went too far. I'll go back down. Oh, no, you don't need to see what she's doing. You need to hear what she's saying. All right. Okay. So back. Okay. Here we go.
We often talk about what do these mamas be out here teaching their toxic ass sons. But let's talk about what fathers teach their daughters. You know, my father taught me how to keep a man. And you know what he said to me? He said, in order to keep a man, all you got to do is be a hoe. He told me all I had to do was fuck a man good and he'd want me forever. That's it. That was my dad's advice. Then you got other girls out there whose father told them that men wasn't shit and that men are supposed to provide for them financially, and that's pretty much it because that's all men got to offer, right? We often talk about what do these mamas be out here teaching their toxic ass sons. But let's talk about what fathers teach their daughters. You know, my father taught me how to keep a man. And you know what he said to me? He said, in order to keep a man, all you got to do is be a hoe. He told me all I had to do was fuck a man good and he'd want me forever. That's it. That was my dad's advice. Then you got other girls out there whose father told them that men wasn't shit and that men are supposed to provide for them financially, and that's pretty much it because that's all men got to offer, right? We often talk about
Okay. Okay. I know I played it twice, but I wanted to make sure y'all heard it all. That's what her father told her, but she know other girl, and I know for a fact other that has happened. My grandfather said men weren't shit, and they supposed to provide. He didn't say exactly provide financially, but take care of you. He's supposed to bring money in the house. He's supposed to buy you a house and stuff like that. And he was all for the gold digger attitude as far as his daughters are concerned, no. If you're gonna give your virginity up, you might as well give it up with a man with some money who can take care of you and any kids you have. And wait a minute, he didn't even add the any kids you have. He added that years down the line. He said, if you're gonna give your virginity up, you might as well give it up with a man who got some money and some means. Don't give it to these poor niggas. I don't care how in love you are. That was my grandfather. See, because my father was in the picture. My mom never said anything bad about my father. My grandfather did that. That he was a no good nigga, that he weren't shit, and what kind of man don't take care of his family? And stuff like that. You created that child, you slept with that woman, you better take care of the child. That was my grandfather. So all this negativity that you hear women's problem, they didn't get it necessarily from their mom. They could have got it exactly from their dads, their grandfathers. The phrase Max says, because he has a show that says, I still feel sorry for black women today because there's no good men out there. My grandfather said this when I was 14 years old. Wait a minute, I even heard him say part of that when I was 10 and 12. I feel sorry for you women because of these weak men, these poor men, these okay, I'm gonna curse, which I don't only do, bitch ass nagas. Yeah. Okay, my observation. It sounds like her dad was low key talking about her mama, and with that advice, could be, or it could be that he honestly believed that. Cause hey, she laid it on him real good. He's still with her mama. He ain't wandering anywhere else. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. That's your time. Okay, now Demetrius, you're saying my observation is men who talk like that were often treacherous. If they did it right the first time, they probably wouldn't sound the way they do. It could be. He loved black women. It's just that, okay, I think, okay, my grandfather wasn't exactly the most faithful man, and he loved women, but he's you take care of the woman you with, or the women plural. So as far as he's concerned, a lot of you wouldn't qualify as men because one, there's too many of you who are not taking care of the kids. You're not taking care of the kids. You're not taking care of the woman. But you hear these guys whining about my money is being used not to take care of the woman. As far as my grandfather's concerned, take care of the woman and you take care of the kids. And this is a man who fooled around, you know. So in his logic, if you crying about she's a child support, his logic is if you was taking care of the kids and the woman in the first place, you wouldn't need they wouldn't have to file child support. So you was no good. Highly favored. But you know that all that about the men, the financial. His primary example is to provide. His father worked at 3-4 jobs, provide for his family. He turned over his whole paycheck to his wife. His wife allotted him the amount for his immediate personal, like he smoked for his tobacco, paper, money to have, because he works 3 jobs. Sometimes he have to buy his lunch or for gas or whatever was going on. But the bulk of it, I say about 95% of it, she used to take care of the bills, the house, the family and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. So and my grandfather did the same thing. I have you saying, oh, that's those generation. I have an older cousin. I guess he would be about my father's age, who did the same thing with first wife, but he did not choose correctly. He did not blame his wife that he didn't choose correctly. It was his fault. He was so enamored of her body, he didn't pay a close enough attention to her family dynamics. Her family dynamics, the husband take care of everything, the bills and all that stuff. So the only money that in her family that the women handled was things for like groceries and clothes. As for the bills and stuff like that, that was handled by dad. His dynamic was the wife take care of he turn over paycheck, the wife take care of everything, the bills, the clothes, the food, everything that goes on the inside of that house, she takes care of. Well, yeah, the whole paycheck, and she the okay. There was a movie with Denzel Washington. What was it called? Him and Viola Davis. There's a scene in there where he comes and he turns over an envelope. That was the paycheck. That was the paycheck, and she pulled out a certain amount and give it back to him. Yeah, you know, my grandmother, my grandfather's first wife, my biological grandmother, she knew that he wanted to have his own business, his own grocery store. So she put money, she did as much as she could to put money aside to save for the land, for where he or the store that he wanted to have set up his business. That so when you choose, you got to choose wisely. And if the man did not choose a wife wisely, that was his fault. He didn't get to know her well enough. He didn't pay attention to something, or he rushed into it, or he didn't get to know her family dynamics. My cousin had to learn the hard way. Not everybody's family dynamics the same. He never blamed his first wife for the messing up of their marriage. They were both part of it, but he realized when he first that was her family dynamic, and he didn't have time to redo it. So he ended up handling the money, which he wasn't used to that degree. He can because he was single long enough that he knew how to pay the bills, where to go to pay the bills, and all that other stuff, and insurance. But he grew up where it was his mom's responsibility. That's just a man that can't do math, bro. Can't even manage the house finances. Nah, they can do the math. It's just that, yeah, because I'm a mathematical genius, and only can read third, fourth grade level. Although nowadays, I wonder if our kids can read third or fourth grade level. But yeah. So when it comes down to the math, no, it's just that's the way it was. It was. This is the way it was. There was a team effort, and each family, I guess they did. But it was sometimes when you get so locked into what you grew up with, and it was kind of the norm in the environment you grew up in, that you keep forgetting that's not the norm everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, to my grandfather and my elder cousin, that was the norm. That was the norm in their community. There's only a few men who handled the finances to such a degree like that, either because they didn't choose properly, they needed more control over the money, or they didn't plain and trust their wives, or or there was incompetency. But as for the majority, that's the way it was. Yeah, they had their own role. From what my grandfather told me, his mom handled everything inside the house. The father handled everything outside the house. Uh huh. even my grandfather and my grandmother. Okay, they okay. Now my grandma that I grew up with, that's my second grandma. Their dynamic was a little different. Also because by that time my grandfather had his business and his store. They went through bills together, and they and sometimes she just write the check, and depending on how their day was, either she go pay the bills or send them out to be mailed, or he go. But they worked it together. Yeah, managing the household and children is a big responsibility and a job. Yeah, yeah, it is a big responsibility and job, highly favored. Um, and I think that people keep underestimating how big a job that it is, because I want my wife to be a stay at home mom and stuff like that and take care of the kids, but then they act like she does not work, that she don't really do anything. There's somebody that said in the beginning, when there's no kids, yeah, some of the stuff is light stuff and stuff. But once the kids come, oh no, there's no light, nothing going on with that. Um, and even as the kids go to school, there's different there's a different dynamics. Okay, my biological grandmother, she was a stay at home mom. My grandmother I grew up with, my grandfather's second wife, she worked. She was a school teacher and librarian, school librarian. So she worked outside the home. But she was gone for that when they met. She was a teacher, and she was gone for her master's degree in teaching and librarianship. Yeah, so she had enough for her degree to be a teacher, but she didn't want to stop there. She wanted to be a master's. She was going to school for that when they met. So yeah, she worked, and that went to saving up for the business. His first store was small neighborhood, but it was too small. It was more like I wouldn't even say a bodega. It wasn't even. I call it a snack store. It had some some staples and stuff like that. But I remember it as a snack store because hey, I would go there and get my snacks, my little Debbie's, my candy and stuff like that. But there was no like meat or fresh vegetables, stuff like that. It was like pantry like items, you know. Mhm. But he wanted a grocery store, you know. So eventually, um, he moved to and took over this old store, fixed it up, built it, extended it, and that became his grocery store. So that was more business. hmm Yeah. So yeah, back to what I was originally talking. So this toxicity that you keep referring to about black women, more than likely their father taught them that, either by what he said, what he taught them to keep a man or dealing with men, or by what he didn't do. As I said, um, my mom never talked bad about my father. hmm I had to learn this out. Some of the stuff I did here, I either heard it from my grandfather. Some of it years later, I heard about from an aunt or so. But when I was a kid growing up, no, I never heard that. You know what? I was almost 50 years old by the time I heard anything negative about my father. Well, technically, where his little store at wasn't necessarily Food's Desert. If you're willing to walk a few extra blocks, you could go to this grocery store. But where he went to have his store at was technically a black neighborhood. There was there's some white areas, but they were like on the outskirts of these black neighborhoods. Yeah. hmm So yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you, I know it comes around to that, but yeah, if you have issue with toxicity in the woman, you better find out where she's getting it from. Because if it's coming from her father, that means she's taking her father's word for it. Who better than a man to tell you about a man? And if he's saying, uh, uh, either you gotta sex him up real good, hold yourself, or he's telling you that hey, highly favored, or he's telling you that men are no good, or he feels bad for you because there's no good men out there. Yeah. If my grandfather was telling me this 40, 50 years ago, what do you think it is like now? Hey, highly favored, what's up?
Hey everybody. Hey Dame Frankie. You know I
Hey.
never come up. I'm tired because I'm always tired. I'm always multitasking. I'm tired
Uh-huh.
now and still multitasking, but I just wanted to come up and join you on the stage and,
hmm
you know, share my
Okay.
2 cents. But yeah, you're right. And I just want to say that, I'm a single woman and I do daycare, so you know, Monday through Friday and sometimes the weekend too, I can have, 6, 7, 8 kids. So,
hmm
that's what it's like when a mother has multiple children and a husband or something. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I'm on vacation right now, but I'm still working. Still, do folding clothes and cleaning up and all that is time consuming. I have to pay my own bills. Now if I was married, I would be doing all this, but with a husband, and I'm just saying it's a lot of work.
hmm
So um
Yeah.
yeah, in generations past, that's how it was. And I guess things have changed a little bit now, but I'm quite sure there are some households who still run like that, where the man gives his check and the woman pays the bills. But it's not just, so it's paying the bills, but you touched on something, see, because it's not just the light bill, the gas bill,
Right.
and the rent or the mortgage. Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, the life insurance. You got to make sure the life insurance is paid up,
hmm
kept up. Retirement is set aside. All of the miscellaneous bills, has to be saved up. If your car is broken down, or when your car breaks down or needs repair, you got to have money set aside for that. So it's a lot of particular things for
hmm
managing the finances.
Yeah.
The school clothes and this, that. It's a lot of little hidden things that comes with managing the household. Budgeting the food and this and that, budgeting, trying, if there's any money left, trying to budget for a vacation. Maybe a vacation is not to Europe or Africa or nothing like that. It might just be a vacation or a day at the beach, and then the
Yeah.
birthdays and all that. So it takes a lot of management skill. So I remember growing up and hearing, people say, oh, women, they just stay at home and watch the soap operas. You remember, I know my mother, she used to watch the soap operas. But see, they were, my mom was multitasking. The,
Yeah.
the, the TV with the soap opera was on, but she was still washing clothes. Don't forget the meals. We
Yeah.
didn't eat out when I was growing up. We didn't eat out at McDonald's and all those places. My mother cooked 3 meals every day. During school, we would eat school time. We would eat breakfast at school the majority of the time, but dinner was always at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be outside playing or whatever, but when 6 p.m. came, we all sat at the dinner table and ate. And that's how I am today, too. If my granddaughter is over, oh, it's 6 o'clock, time to eat. Because at 8 o'clock, we went to sleep.
Yeah.
So it is, I'm just saying, it's a lot of management skills. And, a friend of mine had a picture in, in her house. Maybe it was in the living room. I can't remember which room it was at.
Mm-hmm.
But it was of a older man and a woman, and they looked like it looked like it might have been in the period of maybe the late 1800s or early 1900s, and they were sitting together at a wooden table, looked like it was in the kitchen, and they had a penny jar, and they were counting the pennies. And I wish I could find that picture and put it up on my wall, because that picture said so much. It said that they were a team, that they were counting their money together, you
Mm-hmm.
see. So it really is a team effort, with your finances, with love, with everything. And, people say that relationships take work. I don't like that, till you say it's work, but it really is. It takes effort. It takes
Yeah.
effort and it takes action. So that's what I want to add. Thank you for letting me speak.
Okay. Thanks, Highly Favor. Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay. I think I seen something like that. Or it could be a replay because oh, I remember one of my great aunt had jugs and jugs of pennies. I didn't even think they make these jugs anymore. You ever seen the on the Beverly Hillbilly those jugs she had the moonshine in? Yeah, well, imagine a glass one like that, full of pennies and dimes and quarters and and stuff like that. And I don't know why she did. She waited till we all got there after we had some time over there, and we be all counting and rolling up pennies, the dimes. Well, then again, I learned how to count and multiply, rolling up pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters. 50 cents piece of, well, actually we didn't have rolls for 50 cents piece of silver dollars, so we just put them off aside. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have kept a lot more silver. I was enamored of the silver dollars and silver dimes, but I didn't know they really had silver in them. Some of them could have had some real silver in them. Oh, hold on. All right, there you go, highly favored.
Yeah, I don't know how to work this
Yeah,
uh
I figured that. That's why
phone
I
too
pulled
good.
you out real quick until you got yourself covered. But
Okay.
mhm. But yeah, wait a minute. Did your dad ever talk to you about keeping a man or a husband or what you gotta do to get one or to keep one?
Well, it's funny. I don't remember too much of what my. Okay, let me say it another way. There are a few things, important things that I remember my dad saying, and he did tell me, if you make too much money. Now, this was weird to me. It was weird to me when he said it then,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of understand it. Let me just say what he said. He said, if I make too much money, then I won't find a man that'll want me. Now I I had just got a job with Bank of America, and
Mhm.
that's when and I was like 20 years old or something like that. And
Mhm.
that's all he said about it. And I didn't give a response. I mean, what was I going to say? I looked up to my dad. I just
Mhm.
acknowledged, okay, that's what he said, and that was it. But yeah, that's what he told me. He also
Mhm.
told me that you can mold a man in the way that you want him to be. Um, but let me back up on what I told you he just said. So I think now as being a little bit more older and understanding, I think what he meant was that it would be hard for a man to accept me making more money than he did, you see. And we got to remember that was a
Mhm.
different time period and all that. So then
Yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
next thing he said was, you can mold a man into a way that you want him to be. I clearly understood
Mm.
that. And he told me, you don't
Mhm.
call men. You don't call,
Mhm.
boys.
Uh-huh.
I was a teenager when he said that, like 16, 17, and it looked like,
Mhm. 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 Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. Did you ever hear him say anything negative about the men coming up or the men your age group, your peer group? Highly favored. Mm. Well, when it comes to making more money, I don't think at the time we had a lot of women making more money than men, because usually the most high paying men is labor intensive, and there's not many women who can do it, let alone um, willingly go in it. But then that's my small community, and that was back then. Um, so I don't think he was really that concerned about women making more money. Then then his logic would be, well, then she needs to get with a man who makes more money than her. That was his logic. That would be his logic behind it. I never really asked him, or he never really, because he didn't run into that a lot. Okay, there'd be school teachers, but usually school teachers, married school teachers, are involved with school teachers, stuff like that. He wasn't concerned about my grandmother making more money than him. She was a school teacher, but then again, he also had multiple jobs. So it didn't phase him. I don't think she did. I'm trying to think about that. Did my grandmother, as a teacher with a master's degree, make more than my grandfather? Probably not. Probably not. Because teachers are usually not really well paid. Was he concerned that she was more educated than him? No, didn't phase him. Yeah, yeah. He didn't think she was being uppity. He didn't think that he was beneath her, or that she was thinking that she was over him. Yeah, the closest thing came to it is a difference between book smart and street smart. Something she wasn't picking up on that he picked up on, and he tried to point it out to her, and when she wasn't seeing it, when it came out later, and she was like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "That's the difference between street smart and book smart." He said, "I've been knowing." But that's about the closest I've ever heard them come to that. But he really was not expecting her because she wasn't really a street person. She was a preacher's daughter. She was a teacher. So her mindset was right in his what he expected of her. And Closer said, when I tell you somebody's like this, ask me how I know. I just know. Respectfully, that seems to be the behavior of men, black men in particular. Oh, okay, you in a discussion. Okay. When you upgrade to an ambiguous woman. Oh my goodness. Okay, now my grandfather was not for that white woman thing. He didn't understand why would a black man risk his life and deal with a white woman when there's all these beautiful black women, every shade. They said, hey, if you want white, you could get uh, almost as white. Just that she just got a little more white people in her family tree. But yeah, we got white looking black folks. Why risk your life? And not to mention, he didn't trust white women. He really did not trust white women. He even almost kind of threatened us because this white woman so-called wanted to do business with him, and we was gonna leave because he usually deal with business. Said, "Don't you leave me alone with this white woman?" And we was like, "What?" Okay, so we stayed, and then my grandmother explained to me a little bit more. Okay, that this is how we as women protect men, because when dealing with another woman, men cannot treat women. They cannot fight with women. They cannot physically, um, even to defend themselves, a woman. But you, as the woman in the family, well, she was playing. She is wife. She could protect her husband from this white woman who would use the fact that he is courteous to women, not to do anything to her, or if he do, because he's a black man and she's a white woman, he gonna be put under the jail. So that was the way my grandmother explained. And you protect men from women in the sense that because they grew up to be courteous, that you do not physically hurt a woman, so they will put up or deal with being attacked, even if it's to the detriment of their life. In some cases, because a woman come at him with a knife, there are some men that are still reluctant to punch the woman. He'll try to grab the knife, and while trying to grab the knife from it, he can end up getting killed. That was the logic of my grandma. But it wasn't to protect men from men. It was to protect men from the manipulation of the women and stuff like that. So I was taught that if two boys get in a fight, I wasn't taught to go jump in the middle of a fight between two boys. No. That wasn't what I was taught. I was not taught to protect the boys or black or men that way, especially our black boys and men. No. That's why I think it's crazy when I see a woman jumping on a man. If he ain't in danger, like the guy ain't pull a gun, I ain't jumping on the back of a man because he's going after my man. They men. They can deal with his physical fight. If my man lose, oh well, that's fine. I just clean him up and take him home and patch him up. But it's not me who's supposed to jump in there. Now, if a woman is coming at him, and because I step in and punch the hell out of her because she's using the courtesy that he was taught to treat women as her advantage. No. That's where I step in and I punch her. But the thing where women, hey, as long as there's no gun or knife in the situation, and my man is in the precarious. Even then, I still might be, because I'm used to men dealing with men. But if a woman comes up, oh no, I'm stepping in, because that was what I was taught. Yeah, yeah. So when I say protect black men, I'm not talking about protecting them from other men, from other black men. Not from no physical, not just from a physical altercation like a fist fight, stuff like that. Nah, I was supposed to protect him from the woman who's going to try to hurt him or do something, or create a lie, or try to say he hurt her. No, it's going to be me and you. So yeah. In fact, I got mad at one of my schoolmates because he did that. He was protecting me because one, she called me the N-word, and two, while my back was turned, she was gonna come and try to punch me or hit me. And he jumped in to protect me. I wasn't used to that. And then I was scared for him because white girl, black boy, it was not gonna go well. Okay, after we got that all cleared out, because witnesses who are not black, because of course they ain't gonna take black people word for it. They gonna take, but otherwise, yeah, she called it N-word and then she tried to hit her, and that's when okay, so they put it in protection mode. And then after that, me and his cousin fussed at him and told him never to do it again. And I was like, you know what? It's kind of insulting. You think I couldn't protect myself? I was wishing she would, even though I wasn't expecting her to. And I didn't actually hear her say the N-word. That's when they found out I had a hearing problem. but it was like, I said, all of us black girls, don't you think we would have jumped on her? You just killed our excuse. You know how many times we said we wish they would call me and I wish they would try to jump me. But was also scared for him because they could have used that to ruin his life, put him in jail. Our black children, especially once they get in high school, but now it's junior high, middle school, they are not seen as children. They're seen as grown men and women. And sometimes we do, because we call them young men, young ladies, and stuff like that. That kind of, I know they're not little bitty children, but they're still children and stuff like that. But they don't get treated that way. Once something happens, they're not treated that way. They're not treated like children. They become, that man hit that little girl, a little white girl, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, anyway, I went way around the world and back again. I remember seeing a video of a black woman being called the N-word at the grocery store, and she beat the white lady up outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It could have been that way if she had hit me, because actually I didn't hear the N-word, but my friends did. And they were about to make a move. It's just that my classmate, my friend, my cousins, my friend's cousin, he jumped the gun because he moved faster. Okay, let's admit it. Men are faster and stronger. It was like I heard my friend say, well, I ain't gonna say my name, but dang, look out. And I turned, and he had already hit her. He did a okay, if you can imagine what they call that in basketball, okay, it's like he jumped up to do a slam dunk, except he came down open hand to slap her. He did open hand slap. Thank good, unless he didn't use a fist. And then actually, I was surprised he reacted, but he reacted that fast. Heard the N-word and went off. Trayvon Martin was prime example. Yeah, and yeah, he moved fast because he was in front of me about um at least a car length away, and he moved so fast that by the time I heard my name and started to turn, he was already up in the air, coming down and slapping. Yeah, but you see, he also kind of skewed the dynamics. If it had been a white boy, that was well within his range and his white as men, and it wouldn't look right for me to jump on them unless there's just no available men, or if I'm about to be attacked, yeah, I'm going to defend myself because I ain't getting attacked by nobody. They're gonna hurt. Actually, too many white boys were afraid of me. But that was at my school. That was me growing up. Hey Hassan, how you doing? Okay, so okay, so all right, so okay, so the complaint about toxicity. Let me try to round it up. Come back to the original topic I had, and then I'm going to end it because I'm gonna move on to something else. Okay, okay. When you hear about toxicity of women, where you need to think about where she's getting it from. It might not be her mother. It could just as easily be her father. Either what he said, what he's doing, or what him not being there at all. It'll create a toxicity in a woman. Okay, because as I said, all the negative things I heard about men, I did not hear it from. Well, okay, I'm gonna put it not all. There've been a couple women that have said it, but they were talking about their man. They weren't talking about all men. I'm upset. I'm hurting. You did me wrong. So yeah, So yeah, that I understand, and I understand that's her particular man. I knew that wasn't all men. I knew this as young as 5 years old. Dang, I don't know how come grown men don't know that. but yeah, negativity I heard from my grandfather. My grandfather, he actually told me not to trust men. And I was like, all men? All men. And I was like, even you? Even me? But Big Daddy. That's what was it. No. It said, I'm telling you. Uh, it was a little confusing because, I could trust him. But I think what he was trying to say is, as far as relationship, you can't trust men. Because he did wrong in his relationship. Other men that did wrong in their relationships. The wrongs are different. Different levels of unfaithfulness. There's the unfaithfulness physically. Where they had sex with a woman, multiple women's ex-women. There's the unfaithfulness emotionally. They fell in love, or they more emotionally involved with a woman that ain't their wife. May not have physically had sex with her, but they emotionally invested in her. Emotionally, they trust her more with his uh, softer emotions, or his moments of weakness. Like hurting, pain. I don't know, whatever they consider. Let me see. There's financial cheating. Oh, how did financial cheating work? One of the main ways is gambling. I didn't know this until my mom was dating a gambler addict, and that's when I saw how that could be cheating, because he's doing the same thing as if he was cheating on with a woman. He's hiding it. He's being evasive. He being all night. Yeah. Let's see. What's this going on here? I was referring to media dehumanizing, criminalizing, and objectifying a child. They attempt to portray him as a thug and adultify this child and try to excuse the atrocity. Oh yeah. Yeah, with Trayvon, yes, they did. They wouldn't accept that he was a child. And I guess also because initially when he was defending himself, standing his ground without a gun, he beat George what's that guy's name? You know who I'm talking about. Um 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 Dang it, I used to know that name, you could never forget it. Now I'm starting to forget that guy's name, the guy that shot him. And they try to use that as the purpose for him to stand his ground and stuff like that. And that's why he had to defend himself. Yeah, he had to defend himself from getting his butt whipped, taking a few bruises and licks with a gun. Should have hit back. Should have ran away. Yeah. So okay, I let myself get sidetracked again. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of negativity could have came from own father. Um, Even well-meaning fathers could accidentally, tell things in a negative light, either because their daughters are hurting and stuff like that. My godmother's father told her, you know, some men are just going to cheat. That's in their nature. And Zimmerman, thank you, George Zimmerman. That's who I couldn't remember. Yeah, George Zimmerman. Yeah, George Zimmerman couldn't take that beating, and that's what they used. That George Zimmerman was standing his ground. No, he wasn't. He was chasing that boy. Once the 911 tell you to stand down, do not follow him. You ain't standing your ground no more. Unless that boy pull out a pistol or a gun, you ain't standing your ground no more. Oh, okay, that's fine, highly favored. Yeah. So they tried to make him an adult. They tried to use his school record that he had some issue with schools to thugify him. They tried to make him that he was sexually mature because his friend, the girl he was talking to on the phone, she was his friend. And they tried to vilify her too, dirty her up. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's in men nature. But he said, yeah, but just because it's in your nature, don't give you the right to do it. He believes in men nature's the nature to go out and want to have sex with multiple women, other women. Um, and he believes you should have sold all your oats for that before you got married. Once you make the commitment, make the commitment. And if you're too weak to to not say no to women, to let women tempt you into doing things, or or give in. Let me correct you. Give in to the temptation, then you shouldn't be married. So, in his saying that, how I hear all this stuff, little kids, when they be quiet, they hear a lot. because we kind of forget they there, you know. But what he was saying is that, all men have the capability to cheat, even himself. It's just that he was not willing to risk his relationship with her mother and his family over a temporary pleasure. He said he got all that out of his system when he was young, and that he liked it being married, and he was happy being married. He can't see himself with anyone else but her mom. Did he see a lot of attractive women? Yes, he does. Have attractive women flirted with him? Yes, they have. Had they come on to him? Yes, they have. Did he do anything about it? No, he didn't. He excused himself. He put distance from him, and he never let himself be alone with them. Either because they're gonna keep trying, or because they ain't saying accepting. Cause hey, let's see. Agree is called restraint, discipline, and self-control. Yeah, yeah. And he wasn't having no excuse about the oops baby. There's no such thing as oops baby. You had sex, you didn't do things to protect yourself or keep from having children, then you decided that was going to be the mother of your child. So he didn't believe there was such thing as oops baby. And that's my godmother's father, not my grandfather. Although he believed it's the same thing too. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to hear that excuse that she slept with other people. That baby might not be mine. Do you slept with her? Right? It's still a possibility. And he be laughing. He used to laugh about my older, not my older, I should say younger male cousins talking about their pullout game. He's like, you better wrap that up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My grandfather did. He was not perfect. So um, I don't know how he influenced my mom. Um, or anyway, but but as for me, I be less trusting. Even though my grandfather loved me, he loved his wives his own way. He just he still wanted to, and he should have never married. But he did. He took care of his kids as best he could. Um, they may or may not agree. I don't know. The ones I do know, the ones I know, they thought he did pretty well considering. Hmm. Yeah, but also the thing with the when I talked a while back about Nick Cannon, there's no way he can ever be a proper father to all his children because he scattered them into too many households. There's no way he can give them all the attention time he need. It's a little easier because a lot of them are babies, but as they grow up, the band's gonna be higher and more, and this he is not gonna be able to be there for all of them. Something he's gonna drop the ball on some things that's important to them, or they when they needed him and stuff like that. See, it'd be like, oh, long time ago, there was all these big families. No, no, no. Yeah, but they're all in the same household. Even when you had these countries where they have multiple wives, they're all in the same freaking household. Shoot. Even my let's see, I don't know how many great is either great or great grandfathers who had two wives at the exact same time. His wives were down the street from each other. They knew each other. They were okay with each other. Their children were out at each other's house. He spent time at each house. But still, it'd have been better if it all been the same household. Like David and Violet led with the Lawrence and some of the men in my family too. Yeah. Yeah, I got some younger cousins. I be, oh my goodness. And part of the problem is they good looking. They got away with too much. Although now that they're getting older, it's less so, but still. Hmm. Yeah, the better looking the guy, the more they get away with. Hmm. I've seen it too many times over and over again. In fact, once somebody starts dating a relative in my family, I have friends that I um, drop connections with them because what's going to happen is what I always know going to happen. Eventually, they're going to break up. He's going to break it off because he's interested in somebody else. Or worst case scenario, he decides he's going to keep her and have the several side chicks, and then she gonna be coming to my house trying to fish for information about my cousin or my uncle. I don't have any siblings, so it's my cousin, my uncles, and stuff like that. And I was like, no, no. I tried. I warned you. No, no. Don't go with my cousin. Don't go with my uncles. Even the one that ate the dog, I was like, don't go with them and stuff like that. I said, okay, all right, you go ahead, but I'm telling you right now, don't call me, because you're gonna want to talk to me about them. You're gonna go into details about them, and when it don't work out, you want to go and stuff like. What if I marry? Okay, you marry, we're gonna. No. I thought I had to think about it because when I said, "Well, what if we get married?" I was like, well, once y'all get married, and then I thought about no, no. We'll see when that day happens. I'll see. My wedding gift might be okay. You can talk to me, but you can't come crying to me when you have an issue with them. They're my family. I can only go so far with the agreement on you. But yeah, I have quite a few dogs in my family. So I'm sorry if you men don't like that terminology. That's what we refer to them as. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They get all in their feelings, and it never fails. They do it anyhow. They be like, "Hey, Dame, long time no hear." I had to do one so bad. I had to click and hang up on it. As soon as I identified, as soon as I realized it was her, click. Why are you hanging up? Click. Click. Me. Click. Okay, I finally had to stop and say, okay, look, you here to talk to me about my uncle, right? No. I just miss you. You weren't even thinking about me. It's like, no. But how's your uncle been? Are you hearing yourself? Yeah, I understand. Click. Hung up on herself. But anyway, let me get to my next topic. Oh my goodness. Okay, because I'm getting into story mode. Y'all need that. Okay. So the next thing that had kind of reached onto me, okay, is okay. You figuring how can you think about this when it's summertime and school is over with? Yeah, I'm thinking about because I'm a substitute teacher, and each year I keep noticing, oh my goodness, we're losing teachers. You know, I can feel it. There's like 3 schools that need teachers, and this was from the coming of the year. Or they got the or they just got the teacher, or the teachers need more subs, or they got into the point where the elective classes are not taught by the teachers alone. I don't know how many subs I know that got caught like that, where they went to substitute for a class, it was an elective class, and they will ask, "Hey, could you work this week?" And then next thing you know, the week come, "Can you work this week?" And like, "Oh," and then can you work this next week? And stuff like that. Next thing you know, a whole month going by. And then next thing you know, 3 months go by, and then you'd be like, we gonna need a teacher. It's just an elective. You can go ahead and sub for that. And don't let you be a sub that has your teacher's credentials, because we got subs that, they're teachers but they retire, but sometimes they miss teaching, or they still have it, so they're sub, but they get paid more. Woo. But they getting desperate sub. I had to sub at a school. It wasn't for doctor's appointment and relatives' doctor's appointments and stuff like that. I would have been there for the rest of the school year. Yeah, and I got caught the year before that. I went to sub just before Christmas break. Um, the secretary knew me, asked if I could sub until they could get them another teacher. The teacher was out for illness. I said, okay, fine. I finished out the school year. It's an elective class. So okay, here is an example of how them students beat up the teachers now on a regular. Yeah, I keep seeing that. I've seen students get into teachers. Well, as I said, I've seen that in other places. But students are beating up the teachers. Teachers and students are beating up each other. There was a rumor. I never could track that rumor down. Where it happened at one of the schools I subbed at. I wasn't there that day. I think I was out sick. But the teacher ended up quitting. I know of a teacher that quit because she was ready to choke a student. She actually had the student neck within her grass, and she's like, I ain't going to jail. It ain't worth it. I quit. So they're trying to fill in the gap with substitute till they could get a teacher, or the principals can't. Let's see. Can't teach the class all the time. They still got stuff. But anyway, came and sub for the class. Okay, so now because of this, a lot of subs are being pulled into teaching, or they being pulled into teaching to elective classes. Are they being pulled as permanent a sub at a school? Because either the teachers need a break, or there's medical reasons, or a teacher quit, or they had a breakdown, they temporarily quit. Had that. Or the one that went through my school, maternity leave. We had so many teachers expecting. It was unbelievable. But okay, but this is not just happening where I'm at. This is happening across the country. There is a teacher shortage. A lot, and there's a lot of things contributing to it. But because of this, the requirements for sub has changed. I mean, for substitute teacher has changed. Okay, here's one of the ones. Here's the one I'm playing. All right.
At least 80 credit hours, 3 references, a background check, and to pass the accreditation test. You're going to need to spell school, have at least 2 followers on Facebook, mom and dad do count, no felonies in the last 3 hours, and a functioning kidney, but don't sweat the kidney thing. If it's not working, a teacher will give you theirs to sub for their class. Okay, so in order to be a sub, you need at least 80 credit hours, 3 references, a background check, and pass the accreditation test. You're going to need to spell school, have at least 2 followers on Facebook, mom and dad do count, no felonies in the last 3 hours, a functioning kidney, but don't sweat the kidney thing. If it's not working, a teacher will give you theirs to sub for their class. Okay, so in order...
Okay, now this is an exaggeration, but pretty much, yeah. everything they said there was requirement from the first with the guys properly dressed. That was a requirement. Okay, when I went in, I had to have the research. I had to have the certification. I had volunteered some hours and stuff like that. So I kind of accidentally, but I didn't need the hours. I just had to pass a background check. I mean, nationwide background check, not just my state. I've been through that before, so I knew I was going to pass that no problem. I had to go through certification tests for sub. I did not have to have a teacher's credentials for sub. That was me. This was before COVID. It's like the year before COVID. I accidentally got some volunteer hours did some hours because I volunteered ahead of time. Now, when he made the joke that it doesn't matter if you don't have a functioning kidney, a teacher would give it to you to sub their class. I'm not. That's funny and it's an exaggeration, but it's kind of close. The teachers need a break from their students so badly. You could get some teachers. I've had some teachers pay me money. I had teachers call me direct and stuff like that. And I had secretaries begging me to come to sub. Whoa. Hey, Max.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gents? What's y'all up to?
Not much.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the down here criteria requirement for substitute teacher.
Oh, okay.
You become
people, me and Dame. People. There ain't many people on here like me and Dame. Me and Dame got real talent. We don't have to prepare for shows. You could just throw a topic up and me and Dan can get after it. You know why? Because we know how to think. We can think in real time. And a lot of people on here can't do that. They regurgitate, they recite. They go and they study things and come back and call themselves scholars and they recite what they read, but they're not really telling you anything new. They're not giving you anything innovative. They're not coming up with new terms. They're not coming up with things that you can learn, things that you can adopt and improve your life with. They're not doing that. Why? Because they don't know how to think. Okay? And that's the problem with a lot of, especially young black men, you can't think. You go to college and you think that you're doing something. The only thing that's going on in college is that you're being taught how to conform to what this society wants you to do to keep you at a minimum standing in life. That's pretty much it. But, I digress. Let me get into what you guys are talking about. And then another thing about me and Dame, we don't care about when we make mistakes. Because in real life, you make mistakes. We don't care about if we sound politically correct or not. Because in real life, right, everything ain't politically correct. What me and Dame are, we are real people who live in the real world in real time. We talk in real time. We think in real time. That's why we are the way we are. And we don't sound like anybody else here on the internet. And with that being said, the Black Knight has come. Dame, what is going on? Fill me in. Let me help you out with this show.
Okay. All right. So I was talking about the requirements for sub is going down because there's a teacher shortage, and the teachers that are there are running out. And so,
it's not just a teacher shortage, right? There's a shortage on a lot of services. Okay, especially essential services.
Mhm.
Now there's a problem with truck driving. And I'm telling you,
What?
if truck driving goes down, this country will be hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like stupid RBR talking about we need journalists. If journalists goes down, nobody gives a shit. But if trucking goes down, we're in a lot of trouble. Right now, there's a problem in trucking. There's a shortage on drivers, okay? And that's something you need to pay attention to. Because like I said, if trucking goes down, this country gonna be hurt pretty bad. Okay. But there's shortages everywhere. There's shortages, especially in the corporate world. There's a lot of shortages. Like I said, in essential work, like the medical field, there are shortages in nursing. There are shortages in doctors. Okay? The food industry is taking a hit. They have shortages. Everybody is taking a hit. This COVID thing is still affecting us, even though we've been brought back to normalcy. The effects of the COVID thing is still hanging around. And people don't put two and two together, Dan, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the population and how many people die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those people who died, how many of those people were nurses, doctors,
Mm-hmm.
food workers, truck drivers,
Mm-hmm.
teachers?
Yeah.
See, that plays into the shortages. Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Jody said a lot of truck drivers are not making much, and they're selling their trucks.
Yeah, because what's happening is you got rogue companies like Prime and Schneider and Swift or whatever. I can't really. Okay, now that I mentioned their names, I can't slander them or I'll be in trouble. But put it like this here: they're not very good companies,
Mm-hmm.
and they are a big reason of what's going on. I can't tell you exactly what's going on with them because they can get me for slander and stuff like that. But trust me, they're at the core of what's going on. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. Speaking of truck driver, did you hear about the damage to a portion of I-95 in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I heard.
I was
Was it a
like,
tanker explosion?
no, it just collapsed.
Yeah, I heard. It just fell off. Yeah. But when you go up that way, I'm not surprised because when you go up that way, that is the poorest condition of Interstate 95 I ever seen.
Oh, you was right, Max. There was a 8,500 gallons of gasoline crashed and exploded under the highway.
Yeah. That's why I say these guys are crazy driving these gasoline trucks. That is a bomb, people. That is a enormous bomb. I'm not driving that. You got to be out of your mind. So, and then they be driving on me, and man, they drive too fast. And you got to understand something. That gasoline in there is moving around.
Uh-huh.
So once you get the momentum going one way, man, it's hard to come back the other way. And you got a bunch of stupid people who drive those trucks real fast. Okay?
Mm-hmm. And they're not
I drove
learning.
one tanker. I drove a tanker one time, but never drove it again.
Shoot. And shoot, there's a tanker in Louisiana. They still trying to find where somebody stole the truck and stole the gasoline out of it.
You know something? A quick sidebar. You know Morgan Freeman, throughout his career, all he did was play sellouts.
No, I did not know.
I mean, he is one of the worst sellouts I have ever seen. And nobody is even hip to it. Y'all know why? Because he does it in a very unique way. He puts it on screen. I mean, this dude, I was watching the only movie that I seen him in where he halfway played some kind of regular person that wasn't a slave or whatever was a movie called The Contract. Okay, with John Cusack, where he played a mercenary hitman. Yeah, Morgan Freeman played a hitman. Anyway, but man, the rest of his stuff is just bad. I was watching the Shawshank Redemption thing, and you know what? When he was doing the narrating, right? I mean, I didn't see him with nobody black in the entire movie. He was hanging around nothing but white dudes. You know, and then the way he looked at Andy Dufresne was like a long. I mean, it was just. And I noticed he's like that in almost all his movies, especially the one where you have Robert De Niro and all of them white dudes, and he was the only black dude there, like Clarence Thomas. I mean, the other movie, which I thought he did a good job in, was Lean on Me. Now I got to give him credit for that. Okay. But the rest of this stuff, man, this dude, I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's a bigger sellout out there. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Well, let's see.
And then the whole driving Miss Daisy thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just wow.
I do know my favorite part was when he was telling her off about not inviting him to the Martin Luther King speak and just tell him to come.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I don't know. These guys, man, are not what we thought they were. You know, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby. What's the other guy's name? James Earl Jones. Remember, you don't want to hit me up on it. I didn't know he had a white wife.
Oh, because I was
that blew my mind.
But I didn't know he had two. I said that's because I was looking up something else and I ran across it.
Looks like we might get a gent culture tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. I got to start talking to the young brothers and teach them, give you guys some real information about how to attract women and stop listening to these dumbass dating coaches because they don't know what they're talking about. And many of them have a pimp mentality. See, the reason why you have babies out of wedlock and you don't have any families anymore is because of the way you've been taught to think. Okay? You've been taught to think like a runaway slave. You've been taught to think like a man that doesn't have any responsibility, so you can be a boy for the rest of your life. And you've been taught to think like the most important thing to you in the whole world is having as many women as you can possibly have sex with. And many of you don't think like a grown man is supposed to think, because many of you can't think. Many of you don't even know how to dress. You don't even know how to dress like a grown man. Many of you are walking around here in your 40s dressed like teenagers and got the same and have a matching mentality. This is why you don't have any family. This is why you can't take care of your children. This is why you're absentee fathers. You know, one of the worst things that you can say to somebody is that you learned your game from the pimp. If you learn your game from a pimp, right, then you ain't worth two nickels to rub together. Because a pimp ain't no good father. A pimp is a womanizer. And a pimp don't produce nothing. So if you learned your game from a pimp, you're the same way. You're just a useless, worthless nothing. You don't produce nothing. You can't take care of children. You don't know how to raise them. You ain't no good man, okay, because you're abusive towards women. And you're not a producer. Because that's the only thing a pimp can teach you. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, as we discover more and more, it seems more like they have a breeder mentality. Even the breeders back then didn't have. There was a slave male that was used to breed more slaves. And his job,
and listen, here's another
anything. His job was to sleep and create as many children.
Create
children as possible.
Right, here's another thing that's important too, right? You guys with this gangster stuff, y'all need to cut that out, man. Because all you're doing is killing each other. You're wiping each other out. Talking about you a gangster. That's stupid. What you want to be a gangster for? You know, do you know you're the only race of men that aspire to want to be killers? You guys want to grow up to be killers. And you know why you like that? It's because your music always say stuff like, don't F with me. You want to make sure nobody bothers you. See, that's a very, very poor attitude to have towards life. Walking around thinking that people are going to always do something negative towards you. So you have to make sure you present yourself in a certain way to where you're either going to scare them off or they're going to be impressed by who you are when it comes down to the negative things that you do in life. You understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta cut this gangster stuff out. The movie Shot Us, right? Have you seen Shot Us yet, Dan?
No, I'm not really too
Shot Us.
I'm going to see it so we can review it.
I watched the movie Shot Us, right? It's a ridiculously stupid movie. And I hear people talking about, yo, Shot Us, that was the real shit. What are y'all talking about, man? Y'all sound so damn crazy and unaware of what real life is. Life isn't going around shooting and killing people for little or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and then trying to grandstand off of that for a reputation. I mean, it's not like you're getting anything for it, right?
Right.
It's just street credibility. Street credibility is not currency, people. You can't do nothing with street credibility. And the movie was just stupid. All it was is one mindless shooting after another. You know how many times Bumbleclap was said in that movie?
About 100 times.
More than that. And it really wasn't much dialogue. It was just a lot of shooting going on, just killing each other. Stupid shit. Because you want to be known as the tough, say, this is Jamaica. This is how we live in Jamaica. That's how you live in Jamaica? You smoking each other like that? Well, if that's the case, then why would I want to go to Jamaica?
Mm-hmm.
I can't have no good time there. Y'all out there smoking each other. I might get smoked too. So I can't have no good time there and go mingle with my black people and learn cultures and, you know, and learn how to grow and build shit with my island brothers. I can't do that because y'all known for smoking each other. So why the hell I want to go over there?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to stop doing this self-destructive stuff. It's self-destructive. It is unproductive. And it keeps you in last place. And it keeps you under the gun. It keeps you incarcerated. It keeps you buried 6 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stupid mentality to have, and you're the only one walking around here with it. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. It worries me that we got too many young people enamored of it. I ain't never heard of it until you mentioned it, and when you ran across it, when you was looking at movies you wanted to talk about, and you said a young guy recognized it. Like, what the heck? But you know what that is?
Mhm.
That is scared little boys who've been bullied, so they don't want to be bullied no more. So they want to show how big and bad they are, how they bad enough where they could shoot somebody and don't mean anything, and and kill people and have people afraid of them, so they don't get bullied. Mm-hmm.
And you know, they had a scene in there where they were in the club, right? And and I think I forgot my man was in there. I forgot who was in there, but anyway, the club was hot, man. The music was hot,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they in the bathroom killing each other.
Oh.
And then
So
you
the
can't, you know, and then you can't go nowhere. I mean, it is fucked up because women are getting shot. And you know what pissed me off? I keep telling you guys, the woman is going to follow you. So if you're a murderer, you're going to, in many cases, you're going to make her a murderer. You're going to become a murderer too. Why? Because you're one. And then they showing scenes where dudes is on motorcycles with the girls on the back with Tech 9s shooting people. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. When you lead a community, and this is the kind of shit that you display in your community, then the women in your community are either going to, you know, connect with it, or many of them are going to leave. And this is where I come. This is why I tell you, you've left the community and left the black woman in a position to where she has to pick the best of the worst of black men. See what I'm saying, Dane?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Dimitri says it's a type of porn for them. For those guys, it seems more like it's a type of porn to them. That's why they so attracted to it.
Yeah, but you see, what we have to do, though, Dimitri, is we can't continue to not do anything in our communities, okay? We can't continue to run our mouths on social media and recognize what the problem is, but we don't want to do anything to stop it, okay? It seems to be today, many of the black men on social media are concerned with being smart on social media, but not smart in real life. You see, in real life, they can't really produce anything. Okay, let's take Dr. Umar Johnson, for example, right? Very, very powerful orator, right? As a matter of fact, Dane, hit that word orator.
Okay.
Okay, so people know what we're talking about. On this show, we like to give definitions of the words that we use. But he's a very powerful and gifted orator, okay? And intellectually, he's formidable for just about anybody. But in real life, he's nothing but a scam artist. What do you think that school is all about? You ever wonder why he says why he says the same thing more than once? There's a reason why he does that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got the word yet?
Yeah.
All right, orator, let's hear it.
All right. Orator. Okay.
Come on.
A public speaker, especially one who's eloquent or skilled.
Eloquent or what?
Or skilled.
Right. Okay, good. So there we go. He's a very, very good orator. Right? But he's a non-producer. He's not somebody you want your child to learn after. He's not somebody that you want your child to want to be like, because he is a non-producer. Most educated people in Black society are non-producers. We need producers. You want your son, your daughter, to learn how to produce. Okay? Again, the conscious community, right? They go back and forth about Egypt and the Bible and all this, but they are non-producers. Every last one of them in that conscious community, they produce nothing. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And the knowledge that you think is so great, you know, so valuable, right? All adds up to nothing. It's not anything that you can use today. And that's how they get you. They're nothing but scam artists. Okay? All of these people online with these Bibles and these what is the other one's name? The Israelites, yeah. The miserable lights. Yeah. All that stuff is just scams. You got guys who are known on social media, right, for being able to recite the Bible backwards and forward, right? But they can't recite anything that's going on in the community in real time. They can't recite what our children are doing to each other. They can't recite anything about what these schools are doing to our children. They don't have nothing about that. And men who stand on the corner with microphones are men of dishonor. They have no honor and they produce nothing. And they dress up like clowns and try to make you think that there's something there when there is nothing there. These guys wasn't the Black Panthers. These guys aren't the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers produced. Up until the day they stopped producing. But they produced. These guys aren't the Black Panthers. How many times are you going to hear somebody tell you about Marcus Garvey? How many times are you going to hear somebody tell you about Medgar Evers or Thurgood Marshall or Denmark Vesey before you realize that you're being scammed by a person who is using education to distract you eloquently while he dig his hand in your wallet? I yield the mic. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. All right. There's a question asked, how to stop showing hood fantasies in Black households.
What did he say? How to do what?
Okay. How to stop it? Is to stop showing hood fantasies in the Black household?
Yes, you got to stop showing it. You got to stop glorifying it. You got to start talking against it. You got to start filtering out the music. You got to teach your children about the music. Say, listen, son, you hear these lyrics? These lyrics is about death. Okay? If you listen to these lyrics, you may end up killing your own brother. Don't you love your brother? Yeah, I love my brother. Well, if you listen to these lyrics, you may end up killing your brother one day. Okay? Because these lyrics are lyrics of hatred. Okay? See, don't be afraid to take some of these songs and use them as a teaching tool. And get to your children early while they're full of love, before they become dark and hateful. Okay? And you got to denounce this. You got to kick the pimps out of your neighborhood, and you got to get rid of that stupid mentality, because all it does, right, at the end of the day, you'll be a lonely man. You're the only man walking around here without a family. Everybody else got their family. You see the other races of men doing what you're doing? They ain't sitting up here talking about their women. They're not doing that. You're the only fool that's on social media talking about talking about a woman can't do nothing for you and what does she bring to the table. I mean, you got the game messed up. It says, when do men sit online and cackle like women? And then you guys with your feminine attire. But before I go off on a tangent, did I answer the question?
Yes, I believe you did. Because I'm seeing hand claps.
Mm-hmm. Next question.
Let's see. Somebody asked, "Where's the school?" Unfortunately,
What school?
Umar Johnson School.
It's no, listen, what the guy is doing, right? He's taking pictures of some old school that's not in service anymore. You know, he's showing you these makeshift pictures. This man doesn't have any school. And he isn't going to produce a school. I mean, do you see how he got things set up? I mean, you could be a gold member, a silver member, a bronze member, a pink member, a blue member. How could you claim to be so educated, but you get fooled by the most imbecilic things? Things that are blatantly in broad view, and you can't see them. I mean, they fool, and then they keep doing the same thing over and over in your face. You keep falling for it. Red Supreme does the same thing every day. And y'all keep going over there, and you keep paying him, talking about he knows what he's talking about. Really? How could you sit here, don't have a girl, don't know how to talk about it, don't know how to talk to a girl, you dress like a girl, and you say he know what he talking about? You guys don't even know what it's like to even be a man. Some of you, you've been feminine from birth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so when a real man shows up and teach you what it's like to be a man, a strong man, you don't want to have anything to do with that. You know why? Because a man, real man, is not as spit and polished as you think he's supposed to be. You think he isn't educated because he doesn't speak with an Ivy League tongue. But I tell you what, he will get more done with his knowledge than you would with your Ivy League knowledge. I guarantee it. You won't get anything done with your Ivy League knowledge. Okay? All the black man does is talk. You run your damn mouth, but you produce nothing. You don't come with nothing. That's why nobody's afraid of you and everybody's laughing in your face. Because you've become extremely stupid to the rest of the world. Listening to fools that's telling you to keep your family broken. Y'all walking around here willfully keeping the black family broken and don't realize it's one of your most powerful things that you have. It's the most powerful resource that you have. These are these dumbass Negroes in the manosphere and all these stupid groups. God damn.
Okay. Demetrius disagreed that it's only our people doing it. He said, Ashley, that's
No,
cap.
it's only our people doing it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's only our people doing it. And when you say you disagree, it means that you don't care about your people doing it. Why are you concerned with somebody else doing? See, that's your problem right now. That's a black man's problem right now. You're full of excuses. When somebody say that you're doing something wrong, you look to find an excuse to try to alleviate the truth about yourself, right? Look at that word alleviate, Dan. Right? I tell you, we're the only one doing it. You care about what somebody else is doing. What about what we're doing? And you are the only one doing it. Ain't nobody doing what you're doing.
You ready?
Yeah.
Alleviate.
Make suffering, deficiency, or a problem less severe.
Right. So when I say you're the only one doing it, you trying to find some way to lessen what that means. See, you don't want it to have the heat and the weight it's supposed to have. I haven't seen nobody do it. I haven't seen people who hate themselves like you. Hate yourself and hate your own women. And listen to fools who tell you to hate your own women. And at the end of the day, you're the one who don't have a family. You know, I thought I'd never say this, right? But you guys are so bad and so weak and so pathetic. You got the black woman running right here talking about she don't. I mean, you got the black woman talking crazy because you are so bad as a man. You got the black woman talking crazy. She running right here talking about she don't want to have male babies. She running right here talking about she don't want to reproduce you. The black men, the black women from my generation don't think that way. But your generation, the black women are talking insane stuff that I ain't never heard or thought I would hear come out of a black woman's mouth. She don't want to reproduce you. That is a big problem. She doesn't want to bring you into this world anymore. She's had enough of you. She has become disgusted of you. They can't stand the sight of you anymore. You are repulsive to her now. Look at that word repulsive, Dane. You got me on that?
Uh-huh.
You are repulsive to her now. She can't stand the sight of you and don't want to bring you into this world anymore. I ain't never heard a black woman talk like that. But that tells you how much of a failure you guys are at just being men.
All right.
I mean, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Go ahead.
Repulsive.
All right. First definition: arouse an intense distaste or disgust. Second definition: relating to repulse between physical objects. And definition number 3: archaic, lacking friendliness or sympathy.
Let's go with the first one for 1 second. Roll that one more time.
All right. Arousing, intense, distaste, or disgust.
Arousing, intense,
Mm-hmm.
taste, or disgust.
Uh-huh.
She's disgusted. She no longer wants to produce you. And the sad part about this is you could change all of this if you would just be a man. But you don't know how because you listen to pimps
Okay.
and these so-called dating coaches. They aren't men either. You can't listen to a man that isn't a man teach you how to be a man. That's like the blind leading the blind. Go ahead, Dan.
All right. Demetrius, if you want to talk more with the Black Knight about it, you can go ahead and hit the link. I'm gonna put it on again.
What is he saying?
Okay. He says not just black women, but okay. He goes, all right, man. If you don't actually want to talk about it, then my fault.
No, we can talk about it. Okay, but here's one thing. You know, what did the guy say one time, right? He said he want a woman that has no attitude. Where you gonna get that from? Where's you gonna get that from, Dan?
A blow up doll?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the blow up doll might have an attitude depending on how she gets blown up. You know what I'm saying? You might have an attitude about that. But I don't know where you're going to find a woman with no attitude. I don't know what that's crazy. All females have attitudes. Even female animals have attitudes. And I've said this several times. Okay? Even the sweet girl that you just met, she got an attitude too. If you don't believe me, go on and hit that note and listen to the sounds he made. All women have attitudes. You'd be a fool to think that the woman you have don't have an attitude just because she appeared to be nice or whatever. She got that. Matter of fact, some of the nice ones got the worst attitude. Okay.
All right. Here we go with Dimitri.
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
All right. Hope everybody is doing good tonight. No, I'm not even like trolling in the chat. Like, I'm being so for real when I say it's not just black men, because if you apparently, the way the black manosphere started is from the white manosphere, apparently, according to Wikipedia and all that. MGTOW came first, and then came SYSDM and all that. So literally, it's just, in my opinion, it's like just black men trying to follow white men, to be honest. And then what I said, it's not just black women. Hold on. And then what I said with the black women thing, it's not just black women, it's just women in general, because white women are dogging white men out on TikTok. And it's not even really that I pay attention to it. It's just stuff that has been brought to my attention. Not that I really care. That's their thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a whole social climate thing that's going on right now, where extremism and radicalism is allowed to pervade, even though extremism, in my opinion, should be illegal, because that's how you get those radicals that want to go shoot up girls in schools or say extremist things like get rid of black men any way you can, or that one lady who was saying it turns her on to see white men beat up black men, stuff like that. But it's just a social climate thing. Like, I don't know what it is, but since I've graduated from high school, I've noticed something in this social climate, from Twitter to Instagram to YouTube, all of it really. People have been allowed to go unchecked, and these are said consequences. You got a bunch of crazy people running amok. Go ahead.
Now, MGTOW is not what you think. MGTOW is just a bunch of nerds, stupid people who have awkward issues. They're into stupid things like blow up dolls and stuff like that. This is nowhere. This is nothing like the entire embodiment of white men. What black men are doing, right, nobody else is doing. Black men are out here telling the rest of the world that their women are no good.
I gotta stop you right there. Passport. White men are the original passport bros.
I don't care about
literally. That. No, I'm just saying, like, white men are the original men who are saying Western women.
Yeah, nobody. Okay, but why are you doing it though?
Why do black men do it? Because they're following white men.
Yeah.
I don't know why they want to do it.
Okay, well.
But then hold on. Okay, hold on. Here's the thing about that mindset, and I've said it on here before. When you take an unhealthy mindset such as that, and you take that base level mindset and you start generalizing, which is a very base nature thing to do, you're literally like digressing your mental state over time. It's like you can't differentiate people anymore.
First of all, we're not generalizing.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about passport bros and the like.
Yeah, look, man. The passport bros thing has been going on for decades. Okay? So my problem is, why are you doing what another race of man is doing? Why are you following them?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they want to. Maybe they want to be like white men.
Well, that just means that just means that you are mentally weak.
That's what I said.
Well, this is why you're in last place. You don't produce anything. This is why you're at the top of the very bottom. And you've left black women no choice but to choose the best of the worst men. You got fools running around talking about they got their gains from pimps. A pimp is not a productive human being. He's a destructive human being.
Yeah, he just exploits others.
Right. He's a destructive human being. And so now you don't have your power base. You don't have your family. You have no backing. You ain't got nobody that's going to run to your aid. You become a permanent underclass willfully. And you've done something I've never seen before or heard before. You got the black woman running around here talking about she don't want to produce you no more. I ain't never heard that from a black woman.
To be fair, there have always been coons walking around here.
I ain't never, dude. even the feminists from back in my day wouldn't that mean? They were
Yeah,
mean,
because
but they
it's a
wasn't
whole
like that.
different wave of feminism. You have to understand,
No.
we're on
Yeah.
fourth wave feminism. We're
Right,
in
but
fourth wave.
dude, the woman that brings you into this world, not a white woman, a black woman, doesn't want to
Yeah,
do
black
that
women
anymore. You
followed
understand?
feminism. It's called womanism.
Black women ain't following no damn.
It's feminism for
You
like
know how many
women
black
of
women?
color. I
You
did
know
a
what
whole
that
paper
sound?
about it.
You
Womanism
know
is
what
a
that
real
sound
thing.
like? You know what that sound like? You know what
Womanism
that
is a
sounds
real
like?
thing. You gotta,
You know what that
Dane, pull it
sounds
up.
like?
Womanism. It's a real thing. It's less popular, but it is real.
I understand it's a real thing amongst a few women, but you're talking like the entire, all 20 what? All 27 now million black women are doing the same thing.
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I
Well, then you
am
can't sit
saying
up here and
is in
say,
this social climate, feminism and
wait,
womanism is very popular.
right, but you can't say that black women are following feminism.
They have their own thing, womanism. That's what I'm saying.
You can't say that. You can't say that. That is not the entire population of black women.
I agree.
Right, but so you can't
Such
use that
such a statement
as
would
some
be
kind of
very base.
yeah. But you can't. Okay, so you can't use that to paint black women with a broad brush and get away with it.
I don't. No, but what I was
Yes, you are.
explaining to you with when I was telling you about
You
womanism,
basically sitting up here. You basically sitting up here cheating. Okay, you throwing rocks and trying to hide your hand.
no, I'm not cheating or anything. Like when I was telling you about womanism, I was telling you that it was feminism
Care
for
about
black
the
women
womanism, bro.
specifically.
See, this
But
is y'all problem, man. Y'all worry about the wrong things because you're weak-minded.
no, you were
You
saying
don't give
that
a damn
it's not
about
a
the
thing,
womanism.
and I'm telling you it is.
I don't care if it is.
That it doesn't matter if you don't care. I'm just telling you it
Right, I'm not
exists, and it
weak-minded.
is.
Yeah, right. I don't care though. I'm not weak-minded. I don't want to waste my time on nonsense like that.
I
Y'all need to
agree
stop
with you,
doing
but
that.
what I'm not going to do is not acknowledge its existence because it exists. I don't spend my time worrying about what feminists or womanists say, but I am not going to allow you to say that it doesn't exist. I don't care
I
either.
don't care if it exists. What I'm trying to tell you is I don't give a damn about feminism, womanism, or any other ism. I am a
Me
grown man
neither.
with a strong mind.
Me neither.
Okay?
We don't disagree.
And y'all need to, this is y'all problem, man. Y'all worry too much about the wrong things. You can't stop some woman from being a womanist. If she's
Need to
if
worry
she's
about
a,
how
if she a
to
womanist,
pay bills and stuff, make more
listen,
money.
if she a womanist, right? She already beyond saving.
I agree
So
with
why
you.
waste your time?
We don't disagree. I want to make
So
that
why waste your
perfectly
time?
clear.
Right. So when are you going to tell me something about what you brothers are doing to be progressive and productive?
As a
I don't want to hear
collective,
nothing about. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. I don't want to hear nothing about feminism, womanism. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I want to hear what you brothers are doing to be progressive and productive.
progressive, productive. I mean, we're becoming black professionals at some of the highest rates in the country.
Okay,
That's
but what
a
are you
good thing.
producing though? Okay, but
We're producing results. Like
where's
the
the
people that I
fruits?
know.
Where's the fruit of that? Where's the fruit of that?
We're not done yet. We literally have to graduate first.
Well, what are you waiting for?
No, it's not. We're not waiting. I'm in school right now. We're in school right now.
Okay,
We're
aren't
attaining the
okay,
degree. It takes time. It takes upwards of 4
okay,
years,
but aren't
sometimes between
wait,
4 and
wait a minute.
6.
But don't you already have some that have already gotten their degrees?
Yes, and there actually has
Okay,
been
all
reports
right.
and
What
articles
are they
going
doing?
over
What are they doing? What
recent
are they
Black
doing?
graduates not being able to find work. It's a real thing.
Okay, so what are they doing though? Where's the production?
When they find a job, they'll be able to produce.
Okay,
The thing about
see what I'm talking about?
having a degree in only one thing is it limits your
You
pool
don't get it,
unless
do
you want
you,
to get a
man?
trade.
You don't get it, do you?
I'm sorry?
You were in college, right?
Yeah.
And after you get your degree, you're gonna tell me the best you can do is tell me you're waiting to get a job?
No, you apply for a job. You apply for a job first, and then you see and you hear back. And then in the meantime, you have a side
What
job like
skills?
UPS or
Okay,
something.
what skills do you have, brother?
Like trade skills, I'm good with technology. I can build stuff from scratch. I'm good with plumbing.
Okay,
My dad even taught me
now
that.
we're talking. Now we're talking. That's what we need.
But that's not what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I'm going
And
to be a
that's why you
veterinarian.
and that's why you don't have anything productive to stand on.
What? Becoming a Black professional is productive because I will be
veterinary
generating
is
wealth and
nice.
more economic wealth for my community.
Okay, so are you going to you say economic wealth, right? Do you know what that
Yes.
is?
Yeah. It's mass wealth.
Do you really
It's
know what it
mass
is?
wealth. It's mass wealth.
How
Black
how are you
economy
going to
right now is
so
piss poor.
so how are you going to apply that to your neighborhood
How to apply that?
as a
Well,
veterinarian?
first of all, my neighborhood
Yeah.
is fine, but I know I can do community work around here. I was actually about to yesterday,
I
but I
need
have
you to
family over.
answer the
But I
question,
wanted to go
bro.
to the mayor's office
I
and
don't
clean up
want you to do
the
I
lake
don't
and all that.
listen. I'm not asking you to do the Negro spiritual dance. I'm asking you
Huh?
a question. How are you going to apply that to your neighborhood?
I actually don't know other than community work.
You see, this is what I'm talking about, man.
The lake
This
right
is why
now
we
is
call y'all
dirty. It's
educate.
filled with trash.
You don't
And so
know
what I
how
wanted to
to
do.
You don't know how
Hello?
to do anything.
How?
Can you hear me?
What do you mean? What do you mean I don't know how to do anything?
You don't know how to do anything.
Yes, I do. I told you what I know how to do.
You just sat up here and told me a whole bunch of nothing. You said that you're going to
The
produce
area that I live
economic
in,
wealth.
Black
Wait a minute,
people
hold
aren't
on.
wanting. It's a Black
You
suburb.
said, hold on, brother. Learn to listen, brother. Learn to listen. You just sat up here and told me that you're going to make a difference with economical Black wealth. Isn't that what you said?
Yes, by starting my own veterinarian business.
So let's stop. Okay,
yes,
so
but that
there.
takes
How are
time.
you going to?
It's not an
How are you
immediate
going
goal.
How
it's
are
not
you
immediate.
going to? Dan, can you ask him the question?
Okay. Okay. All right. You know how you was just saying a little while ago that if you just have one skill, that or you just trained in one skill is not a good idea.
It's limiting. Yes.
It's limited. Okay. Okay. Do you know what the what's that word I'm thinking of? Society building skills are. Wait a minute, that might be the wrong words.
Yeah, skilled labor you're talking about, right?
Okay, skilled labor.
Things like architecture, labor intensive work like trucking, like what Black Knight does. Stuff
Do
that
you
maintains the neighborhood, that maintains the town, stuff like
okay?
that.
Do you have or planning on having one of these skills?
I plan to do tech and plumbing
Okay. All right.
after I get my degree in
Okay.
veterinarian,
Okay.
then plumbing, then tech, because plumbing I hear like is a good thing to fall on because apparently they make good money.
Okay. So why are you putting that one last?
No, it's second. That's a backup plan.
That's your backup plan. Okay. Shouldn't you have your backup plan up first?
No,
Mm-hmm.
you build the backup plan alongside in the back.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Let me give you.
Okay. Okay. We just came from a pandemic, but what if something a little bit more severe happened and you cannot do your tech job? You can't do your
And
tech.
that's plumbing. Then that's plumbing. That's why tech would be last.
Mm-hmm.
Tech is my second backup plan. First is plumbing.
Okay.
All right. Listen.
Okay.
Let me jump in here. Hold on a second. Now you're going to have economical black wealth with your veterinarian business, right?
Yes.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
Okay, first I gotta finish my veterinarian degree, get some years under my belt, then go back to school for.
We got all of that, bro. You got all
No,
that already, okay?
I'm running. You said how am I gonna do it, so I'm telling you how I'm gonna do it.
Okay, listen. You got the veterinarian. You have it already.
I don't have it
okay?
yet. I gotta get it.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving you how. Say you have it, okay, and you're in the black community, right? How are you going to use it to apply economical black wealth to your community?
Station myself in a black suburb. That way, I get primarily black clientele, and hire somebody to help me manage the finances in the background when I'm not in the picture. And it has to be a black person for economic security and all that. And then, that's what I have so far. I haven't really thought this all the way through. It's more of like developing as I go. But I know I want to station myself in a black suburb. That way I get primarily black clientele.
Okay.
All right. Man.
And what if you cannot do? Okay. What other ways?
He doesn't know how to do it. Then.
Okay. What if you can't go? If you can't open up a business in the suburbs? Either you're not.
And that's not even.
And
that's not applying. Yeah, and that's not applying black wealth to your community.
Yes, because it's the circulation of the black dollar. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
All right. Here's the way I'm talking. Here's the way I'm thinking. All right. So remember when y'all had that stream in Black Knight, you were primarily the head of it. And you were talking about how black intellectuals and educated black folk don't produce anything. I think it was like a couple months ago or whatever.
Right, they don't.
I said, what's wrong with being a black educated person? And you were like, well, that's not what I said. I said that most black educated people don't produce anything. And what I said is in order to sustain a community, we need both, like those black skilled labor workers and those black educated labor workers in order to generate a good and sustainable black economy. That's what I said.
Wait a minute. What's a black educated labor worker? What's that?
Black veterinarians, black doctors, the like.
Those are black labor
Black engineers.
Those are
Yep.
black educated labor workers?
Yes, they had to go to school. That's the educated part.
To come out and produce labor in an intelligent manner.
Yes. They provide a service.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay, so let me help you out here, okay? All right. I want you to listen on how to apply your black wealth to your neighborhood, because obviously you don't know how to do it. Let me teach you. Do you mind? Do you mind?
Go ahead, speak.
Is he still there?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm going to use myself as an example. I have a black business. I have a trucking business, right? If I station my trucking business in my community and hire black truck drivers with experience, I'm giving jobs, but I'm not providing economic wealth to the community. In order for me to do that, right, I will have to offer to train people in the community so they can produce the same thing or better. That's how you apply the wealth. You teach them how to make the wealth.
Wouldn't I be doing that anyway with the veterinarian business? Because I'd have to offer internships and all that.
Are you going to teach them how to do a procedure on a dog or a cat or whatever?
Yes. I have to.
If you're doing that, if you're teaching that, then yes, you are applying economic wealth, because you're teaching them how to be a veterinarian also.
Right. To me, that's not separate. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's not. That comes with owning. To me, that comes with owning a vet business. I have to offer training and services to upcoming black veterinarians.
I'm not talking about teaching them how to work in a veterinarian shop.
How to perform the procedures. That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about sharing the knowledge that you have to become what you are.
Yeah. We don't disagree.
You sure you can do that, brother? Because it takes a special person to do that.
All you need is the edge method.
You know why I say that? Because you see, I paid for what I know to become successful. But I teach my other brothers and sisters the same thing that I learned for free. I teach them for free, but I paid for mine. That's what I mean. That's the difference.
We don't disagree.
Okay.
I want you to understand that.
Okay.
We don't disagree.
Say some young boy, maybe teenager, comes to you with his pet because he has an issue with the pet. Are you teaching the child to identify certain symptoms, how to treat them, what to have for a first aid kit for his dog? Are you doing some of your vet service for free? Are you also, given an opportunity to make money and learn by, say, maybe they help with the kennel part of the vet service? In the meantime, you showing them how to become a vet tech, and you doing it for free?
Yeah, yes, that second one, giving them an opportunity to learn, and to see what it's like on the inside of the operation. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
See, to me,
I don't
like that's
believe
not
it.
separate. Like that comes with the job. To me,
I
if you
don't
want to do
believe it.
community work and do that work at the same time, then it's not separate.
I don't believe you.
I'm
You
sorry.
know why I don't believe you, man? You know why I don't believe you? Because you said that you was gonna set up in the black suburb.
Yes,
Why are you choosing to set up there?
because
Why don't you go to the
these
trouble?
operations
Why
are
don't you go
very
to the
expensive.
neighborhoods? Why don't you go to the neighbor? Why don't you go to the neighborhoods that actually need it?
Everywhere needs it. To be honest,
Okay. If
No, not
everywhere
everywhere
needs
needs
it,
it.
yes, everywhere needs it. Everywhere needs it, especially the rural parts of America. But yes, the cities and suburbs too.
Why did you choose the suburb, brother?
I said because the operations are expensive. If we're going to be offering surgeries, the people need to be in an economic area where they can probably pay for it instead of just paying us
Why
to
don't
put the
you?
pet down or cremate it.
Hmm. So basically, you don't want to go into a black neighborhood that doesn't
This is a
look
black
like it
neighborhood.
has.
okay,
Will you
an
please stop cutting
economically
me off?
disadvantaged black neighborhood.
Right. You don't want to go into what you think is an impoverished neighborhood because you don't believe that they can actually afford you.
Not necessarily.
Well, that's
Not
basically what you
necessarily
just
that.
said.
Because
But that's what you
people
just
in those
said.
neighborhoods probably might be able to,
But
but
that's what you
if I
just.
live in a,
But that's
if
what you
I
just said.
station myself in a suburb, the people in that
Now you did
area can probably pay for it more so
right.
than
But I just.
than
That's
the
what
people
you
in
listen,
impoverished
dude.
neighborhoods. Because if you understand impoverished situations, they're trying to like make ends meet
Why are
anyway.
you always trying to find a back door out
It's
of
not a back
something,
door.
brother?
It's
It
just the
is. It's a
economic
back door.
reality. Most people aren't.
You said. You said right out of your own mouth, right, that they can probably afford, right?
The
Is that
operations,
what you
yes.
said?
The
Right.
operations, yes.
Procedures, what have you. So what you're doing is you're not going to neighborhoods that you think are impoverished because they don't because you probably feel that they don't have the money to pay for your most expensive procedures, right?
Yeah, they probably don't. That's not
Right. So that's
bias.
what you
That's
call
just an
economic.
economic reality.
That's it. What you mean? It's not bias.
It's
What are you
not.
talking about?
If
First
you're
of
in
all,
an
it's
impoverished
economical.
neighborhood, chances
First
are
of
you're
all,
impoverished
first of all,
too.
first of all, it's economical discrimination. Economic discrimination. That's one. Two, it is bias.
All right, well, I just thought it was the smartest decision.
How are you going to sit up here and say? How are you going to sit up here and say you want to go to a black suburb because you probably believe that they can afford the procedures, right? But you won't go to a neighborhood that you think is economically impoverished because you feel that they cannot afford your medical procedures.
They might be able
That's
to,
that's it. It's
but that's not
economic
smart business
discrimination,
placement.
brother.
If the people in that area
You don't know.
are most likely not going to be able to afford your product or your services, then it's not smart
You
business
don't know that.
placement to place
You
yourself
don't know
there.
that. You haven't. You don't know that.
Yes, you
Looks can
can.
be
You can look
deceiving.
up general income by
You
area.
don't. You don't judge a book by its cover. There may be more wealth in that neighborhood than it is in your suburb.
If that's the case, why is it impoverished?
It just looks that way.
Okay, bunch of people who don't invest into their community.
You ever been around? You
Make
ever
it,
been around rich broke people? You ever been around rich broke
yeah,
people, bro?
yeah. They call it hood rich. Mm-hmm.
People who have what? Nice cars.
Nice cars,
But
nice
live home with their
clothes. Yeah, I
mom.
know the type you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some neighborhoods look the way they do. It's because the people there don't want to attract attention. A lot of people who have a lot of money don't like attention. Like for example, Mobile,
I agree.
Alabama, right? When you go through
Yeah.
Mobile, Alabama, right? It looks like a regular town. Don't look like nothing fancy, whatever, right? But there's some heavy, heavy money out there. People are out there riding Rolls Royces and Bentleys and shit. There's heavy money out there, but it don't look like that. So you pulling off economic discrimination is because you're being educated by a white man. That's why you have
I'm
those
being
biases.
educated by black people. I go to an HBCU.
You educate. What college are you in?
Prairie View. It's an HBCU,
What
a
college?
historical black college.
Do you know how many white people are behind HBCUs?
Probably all of them, to
Find
be
me
honest
one,
with you.
find me one black man that owns an HBCU.
That's what I said. Probably all of them, to be honest with you.
So you're being educated by white
Because
folks.
I know the history of Texas A&M and how Prairie View A&M
You're being
came to be.
educated, brother, by white people. That's why you have these biases. I don't care if your professor is black. He's teaching you their curriculum. You're being programmed to be prejudiced and biased, brother. Blind. You ever read anything about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing?
I've heard the name.
Okay, so you like science, right?
Yeah, favorite subject.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done any experiments?
Yes.
And have you come to conclusions of those experiments?
Yes.
Give me one of your experiments and your conclusions.
This one was a long time ago, but basically what happened was we were in chemistry class, and we experimented with mercury, and we basically put mercury on some chemical slab or whatever, and basically the mercury heated up so much that eventually it caught fire. So something in the mercury.
Right, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about, because you ain't even going to use nothing like that in real life. I'm talking about your own observations, your own tests on things that you've come across that wasn't in school.
Oh, no, nothing like that. No. Mm-mm. I do observe, but I don't do just actively looking for stuff. Most of what I say is only what I observe.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I did a test one time. It's still ongoing. I've been doing this experiment for over 10 years now. The reason why it's taking so long is because I haven't been everywhere in the world. So I may not even finish this experiment. But the experiment is like this. I'm searching, right? Because I believe that the soil in the ground in different places are the complexion of every melanated shade in the world. So when you look in the mirror, you look at your complexion, I believe somewhere there's soil that is the same complexion of your skin.
You know, you might not be wrong. You
Mhm.
might not be wrong. Because I've been to a black sand beach. I've been to a white sand beach. I've been to reddish areas, so that would represent like I guess like white people or whatever.
Mhm.
And then obviously like right here in my backyard, like there's brown dirt. So that might actually be a real thing.
Right. I've gathered some pictures, and I've found a few complexions that look exactly like that soil. And then I have a theory, right? That if that soil, if your complexion is of that soil, that's probably where your ancestors really come from. That's just a hypothesis. It's just it's just a
Heard
theory.
you.
I'm not saying I'm right. Either your
No, but I
ancestors or that
definitely think you're
tribe
right
that your
about.
ancestors belong to.
I think you may be right.
What's
I
that?
think you may be right. Like there's like for
Mm-hmm.
every skin tone or shade, there is a soil that matches
Mm-hmm.
that exact tone.
Right. So this is what I mean, right? Get outside of that control thinking and use your mind. Don't be afraid to use your mind. Conduct experiments on your own time. Okay? You have a scientific mind as well. Create your own information, your own intelligence, your own knowledge. Okay. That's it for me, y'all.
Yeah.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Wait,
But
you getting off?
good talking to you. Good talking to you, Dimitri, as always.
I heard you. You too, man.
All right.
Okay. Talk
All
to you
right,
later.
damn. I gotta go pick up my sister from the airport. She'll be here in like an hour or what.
All
And I ain't
right
gonna
then.
have her waiting.
All right then. You have a safe trip. All right. I'll see you later, Max. All right. Okay. That was a nice little discussion. Okay. We got totally off my topic. But yeah. So okay. So if we're gonna scroll back, we're gonna go back to my topic. I'm just gonna make it short and sweet. Okay, y'all gonna have to prepare for a time when there is no teachers. You're gonna have to decide, and it could be any day. It could be this year coming up. Or the teachers gonna get fed up and they're gonna demand more, and they're not gonna get it. Oh, okay, Demetrius. Okay, let me put you in there. Oh, I'm sorry, TNBN. That's the second time, and I forgot to say hi. I meant to, but I got a little distracted. Okay. And TN. Okay. So yeah, so you might want to consider homeschooling. Find out everything you can about homeschooling, because the teacher shortage is no joke. And teachers are being overwhelmed, um, and they're not getting paid the money that they deserve, and they getting and they got more and more stuff that's being put on their plate every day. Um, yeah, okay, and so there's also a sub shortage going on because they trying to fill in the gap where there's a teacher shortage. And so some of the states are lowering the criteria for the sub. So you might want to consider homeschooling your kids, find out as much as you can about homeschooling. You might need to consider being more involved. I might not speak in everybody. There are parents that are involved, but I seen obvious states where the parents ain't involved. I don't care if you don't know it, but you just go over it with them, what their homework is, what it's about, the digital learning and stuff like that. The kids and the teachers are learning how to use the computer systems at the same time in some cases. And then when they got a teacher that do know it all, then they had the slack because the teachers are also kind of learning the system. And then they run over a teacher that knows all of it, and then they run into your work has a time limit and stuff like that. They get thrown off. Yeah, teachers aren't paid much. In fact, there was one suggestion that the education for teachers be for free. Hey, you can become a teacher and their schooling and tuition and stuff like that be free. That's how it's starting to get very, very desperate. I think in some of the countries that's what they're doing, or they have been doing. If you willing to train a teacher, you can get educated as a teacher for free. Nothing. You don't pay for your tuition and stuff like that. And then there's a training to be a teacher's assistant, a teacher's aide. Although there seems to be some confusion about what the teacher's aide, the student aide, and the teacher's assistant is about that's going on. And the classes are getting bigger. That's their elective class. A lot of the classes are between 20 and 30 students. Although, they kind of work it a bit. Sometimes you have 20 to 25. I sat in a class where every class was minimum 25. Every period I'm in, 25 students. One teacher is not going to be able to handle it by themselves, especially if the students are acting up. They got to juggle that inclusivism. They got students with different needs and help and stuff like that they need. And then you add those that are cutting up because they bored. They don't want to do it, or they want attention. So yeah, and so you got teachers burning out like almost within the first year of the schooling, and then they paying for supplies and stuff like that out of their own paycheck to make their class flow easier. Or the equipment to help keep their stuff organized. But either way, y'all gonna have to consider homeschool. At least look into it. Find out what's all involved. What is your part in the homeschooling? There's homeschooling. There's digital learning, at home digital learning, and all that stuff. What all the different criteria is, because the way the trend is going, they're going to quit. And it's going to get to a point where the school boards can't get enough teachers. Shooks, there's some states, wait. There are different parishes, counties, depending on where you're, that are trying to steal teachers from other counties, to meet their requirements. Yeah, so shoot, even the private schools are having issues with getting a teacher. getting a teacher. There used to be some of the teachers would leave public and go to private school because it's supposed to be a lot easier. No. I've been hearing some things. Private schools are having issues of being able to get teachers. They filling in the gap where where some of the parents are filling in the gap for to kind of fill in the gap where they can't get subs for for those elective class. So you have a teacher who's an elected teacher, but they need them because they got the credentials to teach, and pull them into another basic requirement class, and I have a parent teaching their elective. I'm sorry. I'm a public school kid and stuff like that, and private, public and private schools used to have a big thing, and so there is a little tension there, but we thought it was a public school issue for the longest time. That was public schools were the only ones that was having a teacher shortage, sub shortage, a staffing shortage. There's staffing shortage, maintenance, janitorial. I was going to say housekeeping, janitorial. There are schools that's even having trouble keeping staff. Oh, and don't forget the cafeteria ladies and stuff like that. Yeah, it's getting bad out there. So, yeah, there's teacher shortage all over the country. They're hiring unqualified teacher in Florida. Ooh, yeah. I thought there was what? Okay, I'm glad we ain't got that far. Bonuses, paid tuition for teacher training, helping bus drive. Oh, I'm glad you said bus drive. I forgot about the bus driver shortage too. Military vets to become teachers. Yeah. They still gotta do the background check in my state. And what happened is what they do is they pull it staffing. Okay, there's like for elementary, middle school. Okay, what they'll do is they'll pull a sub or these other unqualified type teachers, and I've even seen some of them have to resort to pulling staff into the elective courses and pulling the teacher from her set course to another course because it's the core course requirements that they need to pass and stuff like that. And they pull staff, subs, and all these other people into those areas. So that's what they're doing for like high school, junior high, and middle school. Certain because those schools have more elective classes. So, but for elementary to 5th grade, let me pull that back a little bit. From pre-K to 5th grade, there is no electives. So if you don't have a teacher for them classes, you are screwed. I'm seeing principals have another spread. They're trying to do their principal duty and their teaching duty. And I've seen a principal trying to teach 2 classes because she was that short-handed. She would come in, teach the lesson, give the assignment, pull somebody's staff to watch the class to make sure they do their work while she hurries up, go to the next class, teach them, give them their assignment, put a staffing person or a sub person, and go home to the next class. Plus, she got to do the usual principal work. So all those things are being short. So parents, if you got your kids in public school, you need to start doing your research. You need to start doing your research now. Look into homeschooling. Look into requirements. Look for digital learning. Hey, you really want to help? Volunteer. Do the background check. Volunteer. Help out. They will be so grateful. Even if it's one day a week, and say, okay, I have an off day on this day. I can come in and volunteer and help you any way I can. I would rather teach in southern schools rather than northern and western. Fewer behavioral problems in southern school. Yes, I haven't seen. You're right about that. I have not seen the fighting of. I've seen with students and teachers. There's verbal fighting, but what I've seen on YouTube and stuff like this is physical fist fight. I ain't seen it happen, at least in my areas. I've heard in certain schools, yeah, but for the most part, don't see small towns. Yeah, go to small town southern schools. Major cities might have it. I don't know. I'm not in a major city, but yeah. Although we do have to deal with pedophile teachers, or at least once a month, I'm reading about some teacher caught having sex with a student, or some kind of nonsense. It used to be we used to worry about the male teacher, but now you got to worry about the male and female teacher, the female as well as the male teachers. And I don't want to stereotype, but the female teachers are. On my end of the country, white female teachers, like, what the hell? That's it. Yeah. So, yeah. You used to have to worry about male teachers with female students, especially the closer they get to high school. Yeah, because. But now you gotta look at the women too. So yeah, so y'all gonna need to consider. Y'all have to go to your school boards, talk about giving them that money, whatever their demands are. Most of the largest demand out here is money. Money. Not having to use their own personal money to supply the stuff they need in order to function in class. I know teachers who have to buy their own desks. And all kind of organizational stuff that they need for the class. Oh, yeah. I think you're right. You might be right, real brother. So yeah, and because of this stress, and our kids will be targeted. Will be targeted. Some of them, I don't know what to say, because the kids are a little out there. You got some that don't listen. You got some that can't sit still. Well, actually, just about all of them. They got some that talk back. They got some that want to fight, not necessarily with you, but other students. You got bullies. You got, oh my goodness. Let's see. You got to deal with boredom. You got to deal with kids who got sensory things going on. Not to mention the emotional, all kind of other stuff going on. And then you don't know what your kids have going on at home and that they bring into the class because they don't know how to handle whatever it is that's going on. Trust me, if you keep still enough and get quiet enough, they're going to tell you all your business. Not your business, their business. Sometimes you don't want, hey, wait, shh. Hey, I'm not supposed to be knowing this. Stop telling me all your business. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'm like, they insist on telling me. You got teachers. I've been somewhere. I got wore out. discipline. And shoot, by the time my last period was there, I was like, I don't care. Just stop. I just don't have the energy. Or I'm ready to blow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I cannot be permanent sub. I need to have amnesia with the kids for a while. Get away from them for a while. I go teach at another school. I go sub at another school. But teachers don't have that luxury. Some permanent subs, permanent staff, they don't have that luxury. And it builds up. I found out I could. My last year, my pressure stay jacked up high. My doctors changed my blood pressure medicine because they were getting to me. But I found it's easier for me to deal with them. Okay, I deal with them from anywhere from a day to a whole week or 2 weeks max. And then I go and sub to another school. There's always requests for subs. I can't even do all over my county because the wear and tear on the cars. Oh my goodness. If I was to do all over my county, my car would be already broke down by now, and it's already struggling. Yeah, that's what he did. He used the emoji, although the pickle is not usually the one they use for that. But I ain't gonna teach him what the emoji is for that. Demetri, you tell him if you want to. Yeah. But some of the kids, they just good kids. They just hyper, or they're going through some things, and they have to learn how to deal with it, or they disgust it, or they got parents that do not care. I'm serious. When I say there are parents out there that see us as babysitting services, yeah, they real. They do not care about their kids. Oh yeah, they care when it comes to going to the next grade or them having to go to summer school or whatever. Yeah. You start hearing about, oh, what's the grade, blah blah blah, towards the end of the school year. Why weren't you worried when they got the first D, C, or F? You wait till the end of the year, we tell you that you're not gonna pass, because even if they get a straight up A, they got too many low grades from the previous year. That's a total. But anyway, the kids know their parents don't care. You can tell because they don't give a care about the work. They don't do it. They throw any kind of answers because they want to do their thing. Yeah. Okay, now I know you heard about the fight that broke out between the sub and the student, and it was over a cell phone. Yes, some of these kids are very, very hype about their cell phones and stuff like that. And there is a procedure, but if you're not getting the support of the administrator, see, I always had the support of the administrator, so it was easier. I could have just pressed the button and said, "Could you send someone to get the student phone and stuff like that?" The kids at the schools I've gone to, they don't want their phones turned into the office. They're willing to give it to me and have me hold it till the end of the period or the end of the day, then for it to get to the office, because the office required that they call the parents for the parents to come get the phone. Kids don't get it immediately back. Yeah, because they doing something they're not supposed to, or they sharing pictures, or they doing something they're not supposed to be having their phone out for. Actually, each grade level is different. Um, um, Middle school, they're not really supposed to have the phone. We know about it, but they're not supposed to have it out. It's only for emergencies, and that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be turned off, put away, do your work, emergency. But we know kids are going to be kids. If they have a break and they want to check out their phone, stuff like that, some teachers will be like, okay, you're finished with your work. Y'all behaving well. Y'all being quiet, but I don't want to hear anything coming out them phones. There are teachers like that. There's some teachers, I don't give a care. No phone. Blah, blah, blah. Junior high is pretty much the same thing. Well, actually, middle school, they're not supposed to have a phone at all. Junior high, because you can't get around them parents that said because of the school shootings, parents are letting their kids have a phone in case of emergency. Because if shooting could be one area, and it could be way on the other end of the building, other end of the building or complex. Depends on where your school's at, and how many outlying buildings they might have. So, they're not supposed to have it. They're not supposed to have it in the class. If the school have lockers during COVID, a lot of the lockers got torn down or removed. It's supposed to be in their locker or in their book bag, supposed to be turned off. Now, what they do in their break, like say if they at lunch and they're on the break, they have a little time after lunch to kind of chill out and relax a little bit. They can use their phone, but they better not be too much out in the open with it. High school, yes, they can have their phone. It goes from teacher to teacher. I've seen them with their phones in the hall and stuff like that. Most of the time it's in their back pocket. They can't be blatant with it. Most teachers, because a lot of kids don't have laptops, they're allowed to do and work their assignment from their phone. I had a teacher who I like teachers that give details when they sub. She explained to me that some of her students from this period, or one of her students from this period, and she gave has her permission to use his cell phone to do his assigned work. And I knew about it. He was just coming up to explain to him. I said, "Oh, she left me a message about that." And I said, "You able to do it?" He said, "Yeah." I take longer because it's a phone, but he said I can do it. I said, "Okay." I don't have no issue with it, but if I hear anything coming out of that phone, I don't care if you got an assignment, give it here. Mm-hmm. But I find high schools, especially the seniors and juniors, they buckle down. They already, the future is already sinking in on them. They not risking anything. And I got the manly ones. I have the kids that say yes ma'am, no ma'am. Oh my goodness, I got kids that gave me so many nicknames, it's ridiculous. I have kids that want to hug me. Even when I tell them no, I used to grab them by the, "Oh, Miss Frank, can I get a hug?" And I grab my hand. No, there's no hugging. Or I turn them around, grab them by the hands. If they got the hands out, grab my hand and turn them around. Okay, thank you. I learned that from another teacher. Yeah, but there's secondary reasons why hair lice. Yeah, I ain't getting it. But also, you're not supposed to. Some of you're not touching kids can be extreme. It'd be like, okay, what am I supposed to do when the kid hugs me? Well, according to some teachers, you put your hand out like you got your hand up in the air for a gun. It's like, okay, that's nice. Go on. Or you pat them on the shoulder, on the back, upper back. It's like, okay, that's nice, thank you, and go. It's a little hard, especially when they pre-K and kindergartners and stuff like that. It's hard, because they don't understand, they're kids. They just a couple of steps from being babies. That's why I cannot do pre-K kindergarten. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not subbing pre-K. They'll walk all over me because I'm a soft touch. Shucks, I'm a soft touch. You're a soft touch with kids. Like, oh, when you gonna sub for me? You're my favorite babysitter. Oh, not babysitter. Sub. I said, that's because I let y'all get away with too much. That's not good. You can't be too strict and you cannot be too soft. In fact, I had one but I know for some students, I tend to, because I move around a lot, one of them asked me today because she's finna go into high school. She asked me if I was going to be subbing high school. I said, yeah, if they call me. And she seemed to be really, I said, hey, you going to the high school. Good, congratulations. Because I hadn't seen her since a month or two before graduation. Because I was busy with the middle school. So I didn't know how she did. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I do kind of enjoy subbing. But I ain't the best sub. And I'm old fashioned too. I believe in spankings. I keep threatening the kids. I said, don't make me get my pickleball powder out the car. I keep telling them I know where the last switch push is. Don't make me go get one before I come to school. They just laugh it off. Actually, they ask me, what the heck is a switch push? That's like, oh, y'all make me feel old. That's a bush where you get a branch with all the leaves taken off of it. It's called a switch. And we use it to whip your behind with. And I know it is. You can't do that, Miss Frank. You go to jail. And I'd be like, all they're going to do is take you from me. It's a win-win. They don't know how serious to take me or not. But hey, I'm going on too long. Enough for the bedtime story. Y'all have a good night. It's good to see y'all again. A good conversation, Dimitri. Real brother got the bag. I'm not certain who you are, but I keep thinking you're somebody else. So so if we call you by somebody else's name and that ain't you, I apologize ahead of time. TNBN. Highly favored, thanks for coming up. Of course, Black Knight. Brother Rob, thanks for coming by to say hi. Keyshawn, good to meet you. A nice chat conversation. Let's see. I'm missing somebody. Oh yeah, Jody Nord, thanks for coming in. Happy Juneteenth. Well, I don't really celebrate Juneteenth. Okay, first of all, that is not a black holiday. That is a Texas black holiday. I never heard of Juneteenth until I was going to school in Texas. And I went to a church out there and they were celebrating Juneteenth for that whole week. I thought Juneteenth was from June 13th to June 19th because they had something going on every day until the June 19th. That's when they did the big thing. That's not Louisiana holiday. It's not a Louisiana black holiday. Only reason why some of us know about it because we got people in Texas. We got relatives who live in Texas, moved to Texas. So it was a Texas holiday. So now they made it into a federal holiday. What the hell? You made a holiday that for a certain region of black folks celebrate, and you made it into a federal holiday. I'm gonna have to admit, I didn't get all into the celebration. My town had a Juneteenth parade. We never had no Juneteenth parade, but it became a federal holiday. So now the black folks in my town is celebrating Juneteenth. They say, "Oh, it's been going on." No, it ain't been going on until, let me see, the last. I'm gonna be a little bit more optimum. I say the last 8 years. The last 8 years. And even there was not really a celebration. It's like Juneteenth. But a lot of people plan their vacation, their family reunions, and stuff like that. So it'd be something like Juneteenth reunion type thing, you know. So even though I appreciate the thought, is not really meaning too much to me. Oh, and thanks for coming by, Tanya Sweat. I knew I was missing somebody. Yeah. So I'll be nice to say thank you, but I don't really celebrate. I'm letting y'all know that I don't really celebrate Juneteenth. And Juneteenth was about the emancipation of the slaves in Texas. They found out a year after the rest of the country was emancipation. About a year, they weren't. Well, there was two things happening. One, they weren't told, or they were told, but they didn't believe it, and they didn't because what was done to runaway slaves was so horrible. They didn't want to risk it. So even though I think a free slave came through, said, "Hey, we free. What y'all still doing, toiling like slaves?" Or it was told to the slave owners, "Oh, you gotta free your slaves. They're free. They be emancipated." But he didn't tell them for a year so he can get the crops in, and to make up for it, he paid them a few pennies. Well, that was in certain parts of Texas. I think that happened, but where they got this particular slave owner, so he don't get fined for keeping people enslaved who were free. He paid them a little something something, so he can say that they were paid labor. Oh no, I paid them. I paid them. They're not slaves. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's it for the history lesson on Juneteenth. So as I said, in fact, I kind of remember making fun of my cousins when I first heard about it. I celebrate Juneteenth. They said, "Why you gonna celebrate? Because y'all weren't smart enough to know y'all was free." Yeah, there used to be a joke between Texas and Louisiana about them celebrating a holiday that they weren't smart enough to realize that they've been free for a whole year. Yeah. I kind of remember something like that. So yeah, but hey, when I was in Texas, hey, I was celebrating. I found out more details about it when I was in Texas. Like, okay, yeah, because when I was about 17, 18, I heard about it. I remember my cousins making fun of some cousins in Texas, saying something about it. I didn't know I didn't really know what it was about, but I heard about it. Then when I came to Job Corps in San Marcos, Texas, the church I was going to was celebrating Juneteenth, and that's when I found out more details about it. And I was like, okay. Well, I said, you're from Louisiana. You celebrate Juneteenth? I said, no, not really, but I don't see why not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our people was free. Okay, so they were free a little later, so that's good. We celebrate the 4th of July, and we didn't become free until shoot, my grandmother's gonna kill me. I forgot that the emancipation date uh, for slaves in America. But anyway, okay. I keep saying I'm gonna sign off. I mean it this time. Okay, so I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna say goodbye. Time to say goodbye tonight. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Good night, everybody. We're gonna go out with some music.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough Cause time. I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.